Launching a SaaS while working full-time as a developer, being married and running multiple YouTube channels, yeah, it's really difficult. But somehow I managed to do it. I'm a web developer living in Finland. I moved here about 4 years ago and recently I launched my side project, Flowyboard.com, a tool that lets you create animated flowcharts and diagrams in a clean, visual way. Today, I want to share exactly how I built and launched it, while juggling a full-time job, marriage, and content creation, and also how I handle burnout, manage time, and keep life in balance. Well, mostly. So why Flowyboard? As a developer, I often needed to visualize logic flows or processes, but the tools I found were either too complex, too static, or just didn't feel intuitive. I have another video explaining how I came up with the idea. I wanted something visual, something that felt fluid and animated, without needing a design degree to use. That's where the idea for Flowyboard came from. I wanted a fast, modern tool to create animated flowcharts that actually looked good. And since I already work full-time in tech, I decided to build it myself in my spare time. I work full-time, mostly 9 to 5 with some flexibility. That gives me a few hours in the evenings and weekends in theory. For the first 2 months, I was super consistent. I worked about 2 hours each night on Flowyboard. That added up fast. Now, after lunch, I focus mostly on weekends, maybe 6 to 10 hours a week. Not a lot, but if you're focused, it's enough to ship. I've tried using Trello to manage tasks, but I always fall back to good old paper notes. For some reason, writing with a pen helps me focus more than dragging cards around. The hard part isn't building. It's splitting your time between building, fixing bugs, and also promoting. Because I'm also making videos for this channel and 2 others, one technical and one in my native language. I constantly have to decide, do I code today or do I have to create a video? Let's talk about burnout. It happens a lot, especially when you're trying to do much with too little time. When I start feeling overwhelmed, I stop working. I either go for a walk, make a video, or just disconnect for a while. I've learned that if I ignore it and keep pushing, everything suffers. My energy, my product, and my relationships. I also try to be present at home. I help my wife with things like dishes or cooking, and I make sure we spend time together. Because what's the point of building something if you're not enjoying life with the people who matter? Balancing work, life, and hobbies isn't easy. Honestly, I struggle with it all the time, but I try. The hardest part of this whole journey isn't learning a framework or launching a website. It's context switching. You finish 8 hours of coding at work and then you're supposed to shift into founder mode at night or content creator on weekends. It's mentally exhausting, but the trick I've found is don't aim for perfection, just show up consistently. Even a small progress adds up. If you're working full-time and want to build something on the side, here are a few things I've learned. 2 hours a day is enough. You don't need 40 extra hours a week. Use whatever system works for you. For me, pen and paper beats fancy tools. Don't ignore promotion. Build in public. Talk about your product. Make content. Burnout is real. Respect it. Take breaks without guilt. And finally, if you have a partner, family, or close ones, include them in your life. Don't disappear into code. Launching Flowyboard was one of the most fulfilling things I've done. Not because it's perfect, but because I finished it. And I'm proud of that. If you're working on your own project while working full-time, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me what you're building. And if you like videos about building SaaS, living in Finland, and growing as a developer, consider subscribing. There's a lot more coming. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.